Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and today we are doing one of my favorite things, and that is reacting to a TikTok. So let's watch it, reconvene, and I will tell you what I think.
Advice for the girls, I wish somebody had told me. Hot take, but this is true. Don't go for personality over looks, because a guy is going to disappoint you no matter what, and it's way worse when they're ugly.
Oh my gosh, guys, I can see this series of unfortunate events in my head that happen when you follow advice like this. And this, my friends, is how so many women come to the erroneous conclusion that all men are trash. Rest in peace. Now, as always, we try to extract some bits of wisdom and lessons to be learned here, so let's give it a go. So she said, don't go for personality over looks, which I personally think is wrong, and I'll tell you why. You should obviously be attracted to your partner, so I'm not saying to negate looks altogether, but there's more to attraction than just looks alone. It's a harmonious blend of being attracted to someone's looks and their personality. Things like mannerisms, intelligence, how they take care of themselves physically and mentally, the effort they put in, a sense of humor, the way they carry themselves. I mean, I could go on, but it's a blend, and we aren't all attracted to the same things, right? However, going for strictly looks alone, let me say that again, strictly looks alone is a recipe for disaster, because physical attraction and looks are two of the most highly perishable, short-lived ingredients in a human being. So if that's all your relationship is built upon, it is likely to fizzle out. This works for things like short-term flings or situationships, which honestly I wouldn't recommend being in anyway, but I digress, but not for a long-term relationship. It is so important to be attracted to someone's personality as well. Looks fade for everyone, but who they are to their core should matter to you. And I would give this same exact advice to both men and women. If all you care about is the way that someone looks and nothing else about them, again, going strictly for looks, I would encourage you to think about why that's the case. Is it because your entire identity is based on the way that you look? I'm going to talk about this later in the video a bit more in depth, so stick with me here. Now, I also want to talk about something else that she said. She said, a guy is going to disappoint you no matter what, and it's way worse when they're ugly. And my response to this, my answer to this, isn't necessarily directed towards the girl in the video specifically, because I don't know her situation, I don't know her, but more so just a statement that I really want us all to think about. I want us all to sit for a minute and think about, why is it worse when they're ugly? Because you got with them in the hopes that because they're less attractive, you could control them? Maybe because you think that you're above them in some way, so that means that they should feel lucky to be with you and would never do anything to disappoint you? And maybe it's for a different reason, but I just don't think this is a healthy way to approach dating. Also, if you think someone is ugly and they aren't attractive to you in any way, remember there's more to attraction than just looks, then you shouldn't be with them in the first place. You should be attracted to your partner. And maybe I'm having a hard time wrapping my brain around it, because for me specifically, I think I'm attracted to things that are not at all the way that someone looks, like the way a man carries himself, his mannerisms, his sense of humor, watching him do something that he's passionate about or have a talent of some sort. Those things make someone more attractive to me. So to just go solely based on looks, I don't think I could ever be with someone or be really interested in someone just on looks alone. So maybe I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around it for that reason. You guys can let me know down below, but I would hope that we're finding more things attractive in people than just the way that they look. Like, that is not sustainable for a long-term relationship. And again, as I mentioned, I think that can work for short-term flings. There have actually been studies done about this where people say they care more about how attractive someone is and their look specifically for something that's short-term or casual versus long-term. Which would then make sense why it seems like more people now than ever care about looks, because there are so many people participating in hookup culture, situationships, casual flings, instead of creating really fulfilling long-term relationships. Of course, there's still people doing that, but I think it's just been more normalized and more common to do the whole hookup culture thing, which all of you who have watched me know that I do not agree with. But now I'm just going on a rant, so let's get into my next point here. The next little thing I want to discuss is the cycle that this type of mindset creates. Approaching dating this way creates a very unhealthy cycle for yourself as an individual, but also the type of people that you choose to date. And for the sake of the video, since it was a woman, that we're reacting to, I'm going to explain it from the perspective of a woman, like the woman being in the scenario. But I think this could apply to men as well. So here's the cycle. You place entirely too much value on looks or some sort of other fragile, superficial qualities that don't actually contribute to the health or the longevity of a relationship. Maybe that's because you also do this for yourself as well. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, your entire identity is based upon the way that you look, which is not a healthy thing or something that I would recommend doing because, as I mentioned, highly perishable. But you then find yourself attracting men who only care about looks or novelty and have a lot of options in women because of that. Then you end up in a casual fling or situationship, and then it doesn't work out with this guy because the whole thing was based on looks alone and not actual compatibility because this guy has a ton of options, which then leads to you then thinking all men are trash because the men that you're going after and choosing don't want to be with you long term. They don't value the qualities that lead to a long-term relationship, and honestly, neither do you. But we're blaming the people we choose instead of taking accountability for the fact that we chose them. This is often what happens when you don't consider other qualities about this person that make them a good partner long-term or a partner that is compatible with you. Looks get you in the door, but character keeps you there. Again, I know I sound like a broken record here, but my gosh, we have completely lost sight of what is important to cultivate healthy relationships that last and stand the test of time. Going for looks alone will always leave you disappointed. And honestly, going into any relationship thinking that there won't be some sort of disappointment, I think is a little bit unrealistic and sends the signal to me that you think that you're going to find this perfect person who is never going to upset you, who is never going to let you down, who is never going to disappoint you. And the reality is that that's just not realistic. You can be compatible with another person and have a genuinely healthy relationship, and that person is probably going to disappoint you at some point in time. Now, the level of disappointment probably depends on who you choose and why you chose them. But to think that the person that you're going to spend your life with is not going to disappoint you at some point is not a realistic way to be approaching dating or a mindset to have in terms of, being with someone long term. So to wrap the video up here, no, my friends, you should not be dating someone or going after people just because of the way that they look. You should care about who they are in here and in here because that is what is going to foster a long-term healthy relationship. And even if it's not long-term, that's going to foster a healthy relationship. And if the disappointment we're talking about here is this person cheating on you or treating you poorly or just not being compatible with you altogether on the big things that matter or make the relationship last, then I would encourage you to look at why you're choosing them. Not all men are going to disappoint you to this degree if you choose a good one that you are actually compatible with, that you align with on things like values, life goals, contributions to the world. When all you care about are superficial, disappointing qualities, you're gonna get disappointing results. So be able to look in the mirror and really think to yourself, okay, why am I choosing these people? What are my relationship patterns like? How can I break this pattern and date someone who is actually good for me and that I'm compatible with and that I can foster a healthy relationship with? Because going after looks and negating everything else is not gonna get you there. If you choose poorly, you get poor results. So choose better. But alright guys, I've gone on long enough. If you like this video or found it helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to be in the loop for when I release new content. Let me know down below if you agree, if you disagree. Would just love to hear your experiences and thoughts down in the comments. If you haven't already, be sure to follow me over on Instagram at Courtney Christine Ryan. I love connecting with all of you guys over on there as well. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.